Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play. We're gonna dive right back into Elite Zoo South. As always, there is a lot to accomplish today, folks, and we're going to be kicking things off more or less immediately with a time lapse. We're going to be working on that hyena enclosure that we kicked off last session. We did a fair bit of work on that last session. Pretty happy with where it sits right now, but obviously we have to take it to the finish line. A little bit of adjusting left to do, and a fair bit of sort of like construction work, so to speak, that we have to do as well. A lot of the, architectural elements, if you will. Those always tend to take a fair bit of time. I'm really hoping that we are able to complete the enclosure today, because I would love to sort of keep that steady pace that we've been able to sort of accrue lately, I suppose. That's a weird word to use, but you know what, I'm going to go with it. But we've picked the pace. We've picked the pace up to a point where I've felt pretty comfortable with how we've been kind of going, and I think I mentioned that last session as well. So I want to try and keep that up. Hopefully we're able to complete the enclosure today. If not, it might take part of next session as well, or what we might do is we might sort of get it to a point where we're comfortable moving ahead, and then in a beauty pass or something coming back to finish it. I don't know if I like that idea as much. I'd love to hear your thoughts, as always, in the comments. And as I always say, folks, if you've been enjoying the series, leave those likes, leave those comments. It does make a very, very big difference in, again, how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, how I go about doing it. It helps answer questions that I might have with regards to various things, and just lets me know what people are interested in general. I will mention that I got a couple of requests for animal sponsorships that I will be implementing when we do our next beauty pass, which I believe is supposed to be our next session. I'm not setting anything in stone, obviously, but we do have a beauty pass coming up, which is when I'll get these sponsor boards down. I don't think I've missed any, but again, if you feel like I might have missed yours, then feel free to mention it again. That's one thing. I did not get any requests for staff names. I will check my notes again after the time lapse. I really want to get into the time lapse first today. Just based, again, kind of working off of people's feedback and whatnot, using that to drive my decision-making process. But I will check my notes after the time lapse and get that done. But I just wanted to remind y'all that if you wanted to get your names in there, or you want to sponsor an animal or become a staff member, feel free to let me know. Again, either leave a comment as a member or shoot me a private message on Patreon, and we'll get all that sorted. This is kind of weird over here. A couple things to address before we dive in. It's not going to be very long at all. One is with regards to this barrier. Now, this barrier, when I uncheck habitat perimeter, it should work as intended. The reason why I cannot get rid of parts of it is because it is containing the water. So I'm not able to remove parts of it. I mean, maybe I can make parts of it null and it'll use the concrete instead, and then I can remove a part of it back there. I'm not sure if it works like that, but that's something that I'll experiment with if I have to. If it doesn't maintain this setting throughout this session, maybe I'll mess around with this after the time lapse, or I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It just bothers me because it used to work perfectly, and then after an update, 2 or 3 updates ago, at some point, it stopped working. So that's a little unfortunate. The other thing I want to address before we dive into the time lapse is with regards to the tour, because it's coming up, it's pressing. The plan was to do a tour, I believe, next episode at this point, but many of you, actually most of you, have spoken against it. I've said, like, yeah, we get a tour more or less at the beginning of every episode. Ironically, this is the one that I haven't done a walk around in. And so maybe it'd be better to not do a tour per se, but just to spend some more time than usual with some of the animals. So I can get behind that. Maybe we just kind of go around next episode and not necessarily go up and down the paths specifically, but just spend some more time with the animals as they're moving, as they're playing, and having a wonderful time. So again, like I say, folks, when you leave feedback in the comments, it does get read. I read all the comments. It does get acted upon. It does make a direct impact on my approach on the channel and just how I go about doing things. But I think that's everything that needs addressing at first. I have got a lot of wonderful name suggestions that I will be implementing this session as well. Some of it during the time lapse, some of it after. But like I said, I wanted to dive into the time lapse more or less immediately. And I suppose that immediately is now. Yeah, nothing else to touch on. Sure. Yeah. All right, folks. It's time lapse time. All right, folks. I am super pleased with today's time lapse because we actually end up making much more progress than I'd initially anticipated. Honestly, I genuinely thought that we're going to be kind of stuck in a loop with the hyena enclosure for at least one more session, if not a couple more sessions. And as I was kind of like going into today's session, I don't know why. I'll be completely honest with you, I'm not 100% sure why. But I just had this like feeling like things were not going to go smoothly today. But I was wrong, and never have I been so happy to be wrong. Things go quite well in the time lapse and also after the time lapse as well, but that's neither here nor there. First order of business is to actually update/upgrade the outer barrier over here. I actually got a bit of feedback with regards to the barrier. Many of you said that the concrete does look quite good. It does kind of like match the aesthetic and the vibe of the enclosure, and I totally agree. And that was kind of my thinking as well when I chose the concrete in the first place. But then I was still thinking about it after the last episode, and then going into this episode as well, like looking at it as I start the time lapse. And I was just sort of thinking about like it works, but would it be better if we use these breeze block pieces instead? Because the concrete feels like slabs of concrete, whereas, these feel like separate blocks that have been piled together. There is a very distinct feeling. And the first thing I tried was to actually turn the concrete white, because I was like, maybe if the color matches a bit better, it would, maybe that'll do the trick. And it still wasn't quite feeling right. So instead I did go through the time and effort of swapping it out for these individual breeze block pieces, and I adjusted the concrete barrier to be a glass barrier instead, and obviously like tweaking it so that it fits nicely into the into the blocks and whatnot. And I have to say, yeah, I feel like it was worth it. I feel like it does look significantly different. I feel like it looks different enough to stand out as like, okay, this is not concrete. This is the same material that this supposed dig site is made out of. So I feel like it was the right call, and I hope you all agree. But I feel like, again, it did take a fair bit of time to do it. Maybe it was more time than necessary to spend on something as simple as this, but it was just that small thing that takes it, I feel like, from like a good but fast solution to a better but time-consuming solution. And I feel like the concrete was definitely the most appropriate of the in-game options to use, but it still felt like, we could just go a little bit further with it and end up with something that was a bit more on point. And again, personally, at least, I feel a lot better for having done it. Hopefully it's not deemed as a massive waste of time by all of y'all. It does make the space feel a lot different. It makes it feel a lot lighter in terms of its color especially, but also in terms of its material. It feels like there was a bit more, effort. That guest comment, you can tell that they put a medium amount of effort into this place. That's how I feel. I feel like I at least put a medium amount of effort into this place, by which I mean, we spent our time on it, we like fine-tuned it, we nuanced it, we made all the curves work and whatnot. So, a lot of effort, but the game never seems to understand that or see that, I guess. At least not with me. Maybe it's just my luck, or maybe it's just my style that the game doesn't like. It's all good. I'm not hurt. My feelings are okay. But yeah, I'm definitely glad we did this. Now, apart from this being a major part of today's time-lapse, we're also going to work on that interior kind of hard shelter aspect. That's obviously a major part of it as well. And I did want to work on the name, the signage today as well, but I'm going to talk about it now, and I know I'll talk about it after the time-lapse too, but I apologize for the repetition. I've got a couple of great name suggestions, some that are a bit more kind of culturally tuned, and some that are a bit more, I wouldn't call, I don't know if comedic's not the right word. There are some that are culturally tuned, and some that are a bit more, I guess, let's call it, I don't know, like modern English. I don't know how to like compare them. I don't know what phrase to use. Feel free to suggest the words that I'm looking for here as well. I'm just completely blanking. It's been a long day. I am completely blanking, and I apologize for that. But I liked a lot. Like, I got a bunch of name suggestions, and I had to whittle it down. And there was still quite a few that I wasn't able to pick between. And so I'm going to have a poll running. So if you check out the link in the pinned comment down below, hopefully Future Party remembers to pin that comment before this video releases, or as soon as it releases. But if you check out that pinned comment, then you will be able to leave a, you'll be able to participate in the poll, have your voice heard, and have your opinion, once more make a very direct and visible impact on an aspect in the zoo. But yeah, there were some good suggestions. I'll explain in the poll itself. I'll explain as well why, like, I think it'll be pretty self-evident why I like the different names for for what they are. But yeah, I just couldn't decide on my own, and so I'm passing that burden on to all of you. Thank you. Beyond that, though, now we're working on the interior section over here. I kind of wanted to, again, I wanted to be as efficient as possible, so I am pulling parts, like these entire like curves from other parts of the enclosure, and it's actually working quite well, fortunately. But I also wanted to try and make things a bit more random at certain parts with like damaged wall sections and stuff like that. I might do more of that later as well. There's one piece like that right next to the that one stall that we've covered up, but I might want to do a bit more of that as well. The next thing I actually did was I wanted to direct the hyenas. It's been pointed out that they shouldn't be roaming, like them roaming around under the footpaths and whatnot. It's noisy. It's not necessarily comfortable for them. So I wanted to make sure that they weren't able to sleep or stay for too long underneath those footpaths, because I was like, yeah, that's an interesting point. Now, while the in-game, like in the real world, if an animal is feeling uncomfortable in a space, they'll move away from it, obviously. But in the game, you know, they'll stay underneath the footpaths and whatnot, just because to them it's whatever. As far as the game is concerned, as far as the AI is concerned, it's fine. But to sort of like find a nice middle ground, not just for the animal, but also for our guests, you'll see that I actually build an entire kind of like, it's not a maze or a labyrinth or anything, but it's a very directed experience for the hyenas to follow through. Coming from the outside, take an interesting angle as well. I decided against that kind of just hole in the wall, like right down the middle that I was kind of talking about. Instead, they're going through the gap that we created last time. It's off to the side. It feels asymmetrical. It feels a bit more interesting. You can see it right there. And then once they get in, I want to make sure they're not just roaming freely, going wherever they want to go. Well, that's not the right way to put it. I want to make sure they're not roaming freely and going, you know, anywhere. I want to make sure that their access is limited to reasonable spaces, I suppose. They can obviously still go where they want to go, but within reasonable limits. I don't want them going to, you know, the lion's den, for example. Just as an example, is we're always restricting animal movements. It's about being reasonable about it. But yeah, so using the same breeze blocks to create the obstruction every once in a while, using the actual wall pieces, not so much over here, but at other spots we do use the wall pieces because it just speeds up the work a little bit where it won't be seen. And that's one of the very important things about art and design, and especially with like 3D art and design, that I often not forget but set aside, and you really shouldn't. But when things aren't going to be seen, they don't need to be as well done. Now, that's not to say like I want to be lazy about things or anything, but as we saw with Elitsu North, a lot of the time I put a lot of construction pieces in where they're not going to be seen, they're not going to be important in any way, they're just there so we know they're there, and that ended up costing in terms of performance, right? Like the frame rate drops and stuff like that. So just trying to be more cognizant of that and using the pieces appropriately to not just help with eventual and inevitable frame rate issues, but also with regards to like time and efficiency. But yeah, apart from that, sort of capping the space off by putting the glass ceiling, I guess, down. Honestly, it ends up working a lot nicer than I anticipated. I was worried it wasn't going to look very good. I was worried it wasn't going to work very well either. But now that it's in there, and afterwards we kind of like look around a fair bit as well. You get a nice slower kind of paced view of the area. I'm quite happy with it. By the way, we do move the wind turbine. I got an excellent comment in the comments of the last episode being like, hey, instead of putting the wind turbine there where everybody's upset, why not put it down where the staff path is already winding? And I was just like, oh my god, this is... Yes. It completely, I don't know why I slipped my mind, but that positioning does work, and so we do that. Now we're just going to go ahead and cap off some of these buildings as well. Now we have a style and a theme and an aesthetic. I can cap these guys off, and we'll customize it a bit more in like a beauty pass or something, I think. But for now, at least, it's all starting to feel cohesive. It's all starting to feel like a unit. It's all an extension of that very same initial idea that we got with that reference to the UNESCO World Heritage Site, right? So I'm feeling pretty good about this enclosure. I was very worried about it, but quite happy with the end result. I hope you all are as well. This is more or less it for the time lapse over here today. Still some work to be done. Still a beauty pass or two. Hopefully just the one, but I'm being realistic with myself. But still a little bit of work to be done, and we will get to it in a future time lapse. But after we put this washroom down and recolor it and adjust some of the trees, I think that's pretty much it for this time lapse. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below as always. Leave a like, leave a comment. specifically leave a comment if you want to share your opinion so I know what you're thinking. But that's it for the time lapse. All right, folks, we are back from the time lapse, and I'm feeling real good about this space now. I feel like it's actually going to work the way I intended and hoped. Wow, that was just like blinding myself over there. I feel like this, oh, there it is again. This is going to be a thing, isn't it? Oh dear. It's not that bad when I'm ready for it, but when I wasn't ready for it, that took my eyes out. It feels like the rest of this episode is being recorded with like a blind spot. But this is all worked out pretty well, I think, in terms of like I quite like how this feels. Again, you know, I could just as easily have made this like netting or something, but this is supposed to be hard shelter for our animals as well. So I'm really hoping this works out. Part of me, it's actually quite difficult. Part of me wishes that this was rotated. Actually, you know what? I think I do prefer. I don't know. It's difficult to say what I prefer, honestly. I'm not 100% sure. Again, let me know what you think. But either way, that's just a matter of which way the lines face. I don't think I'll ever be satisfied because it can always be better. Like, it would be great if this was like, you know, fit perfectly along the shape of the perimeter, but that's never going to happen. But anyway, sorry, I digress. Yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty good. I feel like by closing this area off, I hope I'm not repeating myself from the time lapse, but I think by closing this area off, we've created a nice little kind of tucked away space where the hyenas will be kind of drawn in as opposed to staying outside. The only thing that concerns me, I guess, is that they might decide to like kind of hide down over here. I wouldn't want that, obviously, because then it's bad views, but I don't think there's anything I can do to force them out. Now, many of you were suggesting that, you know, them being like underneath the footpaths and stuff isn't really all that relaxing. It's not really good for them to rest in. Totally heard, and that's why I wanted to make sure that they stay kind of in this area, not only for our guests' happiness, of course, to like, you know, see the animal and whatnot, but also for the hyenas themselves, so they're not disturbed by the guests, you know, thudding around and whatnot. But yeah, this should work out pretty well. Hopefully there are no escape routes or anything. Overall, though, yeah, pretty pleased with this. Might want to go in and, I don't know, do something about. Ooh, hello. That ain't right. Alright, that's an easy fix, though. I believe we can just delete you. You can, but we have to nudge this a bit further. Alright. That works. That works. Alright, we just gotta move this further as well. Cool. Done. What was I getting at? Yeah, the only thing that bothers me a little bit, I'll be honest, is that like the repeating pattern is a little too repeaty. That's the only way I can think to put it. We could try and find some African grassland biome things to hide it with, but there isn't really all that much. I mean, I guess I could put down some like nettle and stuff, but I don't really know. It doesn't really do the trick. Like I kind of wish I could put up some like vines or something, but vines are obviously not an appropriate thing to put down. Otherwise, they'd be options. I could put down some more trees potentially. Something to think about, but it's just like it's a little too repetitive, and that does kind of bother me. It's like at least this breaks up the pattern, which I like, but I got to figure something out for that. Overall, though, oh, you know what I could do? Oh, you know, okay, I do need to do a bit more research to make sure I'm using the right pieces. But I remember vaguely seeing. Let me see if I can find this thing. These shields, or similar to these shields, in my research of the hyena. So I just want to make sure I have the connection right and stuff before I just go and like, you know, drop a bunch of these down or something. Again, I believe this this excavation site, so to speak, is from the Iron Age, if memory serves me correctly. But anyway, that's for me to research and us to discover together afterwards. Just realized I didn't adjust some of these, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Overall, though, pretty pleased with the enclosure now. Yeah, it's feeling, again, close to done. Nothing's ever really complete, right, as we always say. It's feeling close to done, though, and I'll be honest, I'll be 100% honest with you, I didn't think we'd get this far today. I was so ready to have to do another episode where we focus on this enclosure. And again, I don't mind that, but it does feel like a slowdown, like I was mentioning at the beginning of this episode, right? Like I want to get that momentum maintained, as it were. All right, very cool. Very cool. Honestly, I saw a lot of comments about this as well. Honestly, I don't understand the ugly moniker. I don't label. I suppose I should call it. I don't get it. I don't find them ugly at all. You know, they're would I call them majestic? Would I call them magnificent? No, right? Fair. Not everything has to be majestic. Majestic, you know, has certain implications. I wouldn't call them ugly. They're adorable. They look just fine. They look fantastic. They look like, see, to me, hyenas, and I felt this way, like, you see, you get a lot of hyenas in, like, music videos, and you get a lot of hyenas, well, like, what was that movie? That Harley Quinn movie. Like, there's the hyena in that, like, like, kind of, it is a viciousness. There's like an aggression to it, but in like a good, like in a cool sort of a way, you know? Like, that's the vibe I get off of hyenas. I don't get, you know, ugly or otherwise bad. I mean, I understand they're pests for some, but yeah, that's the vibe I get off of hyenas, is just like boss, you know? I guess if I were to boil it down to one word. Anyway, my feelings about hyenas aside, I suppose we're ready to hit play. I can't believe it's year 125. That is absolutely wild. But I think we're ready to hit play and see how the guests feel about the space. And we can also get some names going. Now, I'll see if I start getting immediately interrupted and have to pause again. But let's go ahead and get some of these names in. Now, with regards to the name of this enclosure, hopefully I mentioned it during the time lapse, but there is a poll that is in the pinned comment down below. Again, YouTube no longer allows polling like it once used to, and so we have to rely on that instead. But yes, there is a poll in the pinned comment down below where you can get your opinion involved, whichever phrase you'd rather use. I'm gonna go ahead and get Becky Jones researching the hyenas. We did get a new vet recently, so we have one quote-unquote extra. Extra's not exactly what I mean, but we do have one more. Now, we do actually also have one staff name to implement, so I will go ahead and do that right now. It'll be one of our Australian... Let's go ahead and upgrade you and rename you. One of our Australian educators over here. And you... Whoops. Will now be known as... Can't type today. It's Taylor. And the request was specifically to be a dingo educator. We'll try and pinpoint that, but at the moment, all these animal talks have been kept shut down until they fix the happiness issues that arise from those animal talks. But yeah, we've got It's Taylor as our latest educator. Thank you very much again for your support, for your continued support, I should say. And again, folks, if you would like to be a staff member as well, yeah, download the drill from last session. I want to belabor the point. I do have a lot of sponsor boards as well, by the way. I just want to make sure everyone knows, and I feel like I was unclear earlier. I do have your sponsor requests for okapis, cassowaries, African elephants, dingoes, and the yellow anaconda. I've collected them over the last handful of sessions. I will be doing them, I think, next time. Maybe we'll do a beauty pass, and at that time I'll be doing the sponsor boards for the dingoes and the yellow anaconda. Of course, you know, the other three animals are not yet in the zoo, but when their time comes, I do have your requests noted down. Alright, so let's go ahead and get some of these names in there. Like, these guests are obviously looking the wrong... Oh, no, they're not. Oh, this is great. Look at that. That's great. That's fantastic. That's awesome. See, that's what I'm talking about. I like that. I'm all for that. Like, this is great. And I imagine, you know, I should check, actually, really quickly. Nutrition, we'll have to upgrade their food quality as soon as we can, obviously. Space is good. It's actually not too big. That's good. It's not often that I get that. A little bit too much coverage. Okay, no surprise there. No surprise there. To get rid of you. I had a feeling I was overdoing it. But let's see. Oh, you know what? Another thing I could do, I think their enclosure goes a little bit beyond where it needs to. Goes all the way down to there, doesn't it? Let me check. Goes over, and yes, it does go all the way over to there. So it's including all these trees. Go ahead and pull you in as far as you'll go. Pull you in as far as you'll go. Oh, you know what? I should undo that tree deletion first. Now I can move you. Go. And no. Come on. Pull you in as well. Go ahead and pull this in too, and that should hopefully do the trick. Whoops. Same thing as removing a tree. We've just basically pulled a tree out of its zone. Why are my controls not working? There we go. Camera stopped responding at one point. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. They're actually coming all the way out here, and that's fantastic to see. Look at that. Look, that's adorable. Is that not adorable? Am I the only one? Like, they look cute. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Animal welfare has attracted protesters who are blue-tongued lizard over here apparently is not doing too hot. Why is that? Because we have too many. Alexander and Grace get to stay. You two go to the trade center. Cool. There we go. Problem solved. Problem solved. Facility broken down over here. Call the mechanic. Vet research complete. Some fun facts to read perhaps today. Almost. Almost. Once they're done, we'll read through them. Done over here. So many tabs open all at once. Alright, that's great. I'm really quite pleased actually with seeing the guests use this space properly, and the hyenas as well using the space. As I hoped they would. Mealtime, buddy. Let's go. Look at that. Oh, that dude with the red balloon was kind of creepy. He's like creeping on these hyenas. On the topic of creeping on these hyenas, let's go ahead and get some of these names in. You'll see why creeping on works as a segue there. Oh, no, stop it. Damn it. A little too late. That's really unfortunate. Ooh, I thought we literally just went through and took out all the inbreeding potential over here. Rima, Ifama. Oh, I guess we didn't. Alright, fair enough. On contraceptives for afterwards. Right. Okay. It's unfortunate. The warthogs, they've been continuous. Alright, this washroom. First to be named. It shall be named Hyena Heinies. Is that how you spell Heine? That's I like the wordplay and the visual play there as well, but I've seen this name now in my notes so much that now I've forgotten like how you actually spell Heinies. But Hyena Heinies for our washroom. We've got I've actually got quite this was a difficult naming thing. Part of me is actually tempted to add more food spots just so I can get more of the names implemented. But we have Chief Beef shall be known as Beef Prepared. Yeah, his be prepared. The one of the greatest, in my humble opinion, villain songs out of a Disney movie. Honestly, it's up there for me. Be Prepared is fantastic. So yeah, we've got Beef Prepared. We're also going to get you're a Just a Memento. I don't have any name suggestions for the Just a Memento actually. Our Gulpy Energy will be called. Oh God, I saw so many of these and I was like, all right, I need to fit in as many of them as I can. So the Gulpy Energy is going to be called Gulpy Prepared, because be prepared and be prepared. I was actually thinking, I was half expecting that P Prepared would be one of the name suggestions for the washroom, but we're getting some variety in here. So we've got Beef Prepared, we've got Gulpy Prepared. We're also going to get, for our Pip Shot Water, we're going to do some Giggle Water. This is a name suggestion I got earlier as well, actually. So we're going to go with Giggle Water over here. And the Info Center is going to be called... Right. No Laughing Matter. There we go. I love it. We got so much variety of name types and stuff as well. Love it. Now, Just a Memento still needs a name, actually. Our poor forgotten child over here. So the Just a Memento needs a name suggestion. If you have any, feel free to drop it in the comments down below, and we'll get that implemented. Hyena Heinies, No Laughing Matter, All Be Prepared, Giggle Water, and And beef prepared. Yeah, okay, cool. All done there. And again, like I said, for the enclosure itself, there will be that pinned comment with the poll. And yeah, we can get that name in next time, I think, with the beauty pass if we do it next time. Yeah, this is great. This is working out nicely. One of our llamas is about to mature. Fantastic. More vet research complete. Is that for the African painted dog? Yes, indeed. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at those fun facts. Zoopedia up. Of course, it's the last thing I click on over here. All right. Fun fact number 1. African wild dogs hunt their prey for long distances and over extended periods of time until the prey collapses from exhaustion. Oh my god, can you imagine? I mean, fortunately with me, it wouldn't be a very long run, but you were an actual capable runner. I would like to know... Hold on, we've got some alpha fighting over here that I need to take care of. Sorry. To the trade center, please. There we go. Because this man still has some years left in him, and he's got some fantastic genes, so we're not done yet. Not done with him quite yet. Breed 4 new habitat animals of different species. Good stuff. Natural game progression happening. Back to Zoopedia. We're gonna have some Aldabra giant tortoises that need moving out as well. But yeah, like what counts as prey for these guys? Like what kind of long distances are we talking over here? At what point do they start giving up? You know what I mean? Like what counts as a long distance? How far are you willing to go for a slice of pizza? You know. Fun fact number 2: African wild dogs have a hunting success rate of between 60 and 90%, far more successful than other group predators like lions and hyenas, who often steal the dog's kills. Wow, okay. I wonder what the comparative like averages are. Also, 60 to 90 is a huge range. Like, that's between a D- and an A-. Yeah, if you're grading, that's a big range. I would like to know. I mean, that's a very big range. Fun fact number 3: African wild dogs in captivity can be trained like domestic dogs. Okay, I mean that. I kind of assumed that. I feel like anything that's like got dog in its name or is otherwise of the dog, like, you know, family and whatnot, kind of like I get that vibe. Fun fact number 4: when African wild dog pups are born, they take priority in the pack, even over the alphas. They eat before all the other dogs. Now that's an interesting fact. See, I was actually about to say, I was like, you know, so far these facts have not been, like, the first one was kind of interesting, but it's like a half fact, really. Like, I'd like to know what this actually means. You know, like if I tell you cheetahs will hunt and, I don't know, will chase their prey down until they're tired. Like, cheetahs are sprinters, so that distance... anyway, I digress. It's a half fact, in my humble opinion. Fun fact number 1. Fun fact number 4, though, is actually really interesting, because typically the alpha always eats first. Like, I'm thinking about lions primarily. That always comes to mind first, because I remember when I was really young when I learned that the lion eats before everybody else, and I was like, wow, that's okay, fine. Poor parenting, but fair enough. But it seems like this is actually kind of cool. I mean, this is really like it takes a village kind of thinking among the African wild dogs, the African painted dog, where it's just like, no, the kids are our future. They must be well fed and taken care of, and then we can eat. That's kind of funny, actually. Number 5, African wild dogs are observed to vote by sneezing. I'm sorry. The more dogs in a pack that sneeze concurrently, the more likely they are to go hunting. Dominant dogs are more likely to start a successful hunt vote. Okay, what? I feel like I've like tripped and fallen into the Twilight Zone over here. Are you for real? That's so cool. I need to learn a lot more about these dogs. Like, do normal dogs do that? Normal dogs, you know what I mean? Like, do like dogs out in the wild, if there are any left, do that? Like, okay, hold on. You know what? Here, okay, let me check something here. Just comes to mind. I don't see anything about like sneezing with. It's not necessarily that they're gonna, you know, overlap the fun facts, but that's so wild to me. I really want to. I'm gonna read up some more about these dogs, because that's really cool. They vote. That's wild. Now I'm just picturing snooty oh, titty caps, how cute. Snooty painted dogs who are just like, you know what? No, I abstain. Ah, it just brings me so much joy. There we go. Oh my god, so cute. Yes, another one. Damn, I was kind of hoping we'd get 3 while they're all standing in the same spot. The pack grows. We need some more toys and stuff for them, eh? So cute. Oh. Just the little barks. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. Alright, some more toys for these guys. Oscar, are you kidding me? After our star-studded pseudo Hollywood name dingoes, we get one named Oscar. Come on now. What am I looking for? Habitat. The dingo. We need some more enrichment items. Bubble machine. I think I was told to get the bubble machine, and it completely slipped my mind. Oh, yeah. Stuff. I could do this forever. This is so cute. I mean, I know it's not what's happening, but it's almost like the mother is teaching the kid how to get the food down. This is so good. Sorry. I mean, when we do our little... So, again, like I said earlier, like it's been suggested that rather than do a tour, we just spend more time with the animals. I'm going to apologize preemptively for when I inevitably spend more time with the doggos than with anybody else. But we will spend some time with the animals. I think that's a good way to go about it, because we've been doing kind of like the walkthroughs all the time. So I think that's a neat way to go about it for sure. Otherwise, I do want to check... Have we got any more baby capuchin? Been some time since we've checked. Nope. Doesn't look like we've had more. Just the one. Pretty sure we've had you for a while. Horrible. 1.6 years old, yeah. That's a little foreboding, I'll be honest. A little concerned about that. Alright, what's going on over here? Like, I'm worried the same problem's gonna come back up as we had before. Vet research complete. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. You know what, I'm probably able, actually, to head on over here. Probably able to up your layout. Yes, there we go. Get them all in, why not? Sure. Make them a little bit happier. Now, again, we've been talking about getting a staff area in this area for some time now, and I'm not really sure exactly where I could put it down. Because again, there's a negative impact zone, right? As of now, staff is able to, there's like the little area down over here underneath the lion's enclosure. They're able to walk over, up the loop, around, and then I suppose they would go over this way. Like, they have quite a distance to go to take care of the animals. And then down over here as well, like, it's quite a distance to go. And I've been wanting to establish a new staff area somewhere over here, but I just don't know where it would work. I mean, I could try and build one, like, down over here or something, and then have a path that, like, connects it. And it's probably far enough away. Staff facilities. What do I need here? Keeper hut, sure. Just to take a look. Negative impact zone. Yeah, I mean, I could put it down over here. That might actually work. Might actually work. Tucked away. Like the idea of it. The radius doesn't get too far, right? No one up there is gonna get it. So staff would come up from over here, go over here. I mean, how much space does it really save? How much of a distance, rather, does it really save? A little bit. It's still kind of close to this. Oh, look at all this litter over here. Someone's got to clean that up. Hmm. Oh my god, yeah, that's a pretty big gap. If I could get it somewhere closer to here, that'd be good. Don't know if I can. Like somewhere over here, maybe, you know? But yeah, this is gonna upset everybody. Unless I lower it significantly. To the point that it's invisible. That obviously doesn't fly. We're not gonna be able to do that. Maybe do... Nah. Guests on the ride will get upset. Hmm. Bit of a question mark over here. I could also potentially... Nah, these guys are going to be definitely made super upset. Again, yes, I know this is the maximum radius and it can be reduced, but only so much, right? Only so much. Try... That's actually not bad, I guess. Are you? Yeah. Okay. Okay. What if we... pop you down over here, the train goes under you. We could make a cool, like, bridge kind of a thing. There's something to be had here. Maybe. Plus, it also alternates, like, these are both here and here. It's smack dab in the middle of it, right? Like, literally halfway between these 2 points, so that's convenient. The entry points are up over here, like to the enclosures. One's up there. Where's the one down over here? Where's the one? This one's down over here, right? Okay, so that one might not get serviced up over here, but we got one over here and one over here, so this might not be a bad spot for it. The only reason I don't want to put it up further up is because we have the tracks are a bit higher there. Yeah, this might work, actually. That bench is a little inconvenienced, so let's pull this back a bit. Raise you up a bit. Alright, let's try this. We've got our keeper hut. Back a little bit more. Okay, so our keeper hut. And we'll also need a staff room, right? Yeah. Our large staff room. Yeah, see, that's, people are not happy about that. What about small staff room? Not the best. Oh, okay. Weird. I guess the radius must be reduced because of all the decorative elements in the area. So hang on. Is your radius, that's how much it reduces by, gotcha. Not nearly enough. Except now it's showing, like, next to nothing. Oh, there we go. Okay, weird. Let's try this, let's try this. If I put you down over here. 31% and 23%. Alright, so that means we can definitely reduce the negative impact of these guys a little bit more. This is a floating tree. That is not okay. Like a clearly floating tree. Do that. Put you down over... Sure, and again, we'll be building like a little thing. I don't know if I'll do it with terrain or what, but... Well, maybe I'm not going to do it with terrain then, I guess. Yeah, man. The intensity a bit. Come on. I believe in you. Yeah, I guess we're not gonna get the loop up like this that I want. Instead, I would have to rely on the rocks from grassland, I think. Yeah, these will do the trick. This should also help with the welfare over here. If it is dirty, it looks like call the keeper. This should also help with the beautification, like the radius, right? And I should really check if a path will actually connect. Oh, hang on, this is a problem. Okay, hang on. Pull you back for sure. I don't think this will fly, I'll be honest. I don't think this will fly. Move this up a little bit. Over a bit more. Alright. This is kind of what I wanted. Not this bottom part so much. Oh. Nope. Can I flatten this? Sort of. There we go. Excellent. Take you over top. That was a mistake, obviously. Trying to get some serious lag over here when we adjust the terrain. If I pause it, does it smooth things out? Yeah. Pausing it makes the frame rate go a fair bit higher. Okay, excellent. It'll be like this. Go ahead and heal this up nicely. There we go. Down a little bit. Excellent. Make sure this is actually open here still. Nice, cool little tunnel experience. Alright. Pull this higher though. There we go. And can we get some of these rocks down? For now, just kind of like randomly placing these. I'll make a better job of it when we do our like beauty pass or something, but I want to just make sure this is all gonna work, because otherwise we're not gonna... I mean, there's no point in putting a ton of effort in this right now if the reduced radius doesn't protect our customers from a sad time. Boo-hoo. The staff need a place to take a break. I'm so upset. So, like, I don't know. It's almost dehumanizing that guests are upset at staff break rooms, and I understand not wanting to be near like maybe a vet surgery space. I mean, surgery, whatever, you know, surgery is a whole different thing altogether. It's like, yeah, our staff take breaks. If you're not okay with that, then you should leave. Get out of here. Okay, there we go. Again, this isn't what it's gonna look like finally, but 16%, 24%. Alright, let's get some trees out over here. Turn off that whole snap align to surface stuff. Out over here, there we go. What about now? 19%. Not good enough. 20% not good enough. Let me also check if the path here will connect properly, because that's also obviously a major part of this. Oh, what's the deal with you? Oh, because of the... Right, of course. Of course. Wonder what the best way to do this. We definitely have to reduce the... Where's the entrance? There it is. Starting to forget where some of these entrances are. We have to just pull this back to here. I think that'll actually be fine for the... Oh no, there's a little gap back there, I think. Hopefully. Constructed. Why is that? Rain modification failed. Okay. There we go. I had a feeling we'd be looking at stairs. Well, oh, there we go. Got ourselves one ramp over here. Okay. Come on. There we go. Got ourselves a ramp over here. Can we get a ramp over here as well? No, this is stairs. Why? Like basically the same height. Okay, what if I pull you back a little bit? Pull you back just a step. That gives us room to pull you up. There we go. And again, we'll decorate this so it's all a bit more integrated and whatnot. But the negative impact radius, right? Not too bad, not too bad. We can make this work. Also, I should totally be, yes, pulling in trees from out there and just kind of pulling them in here. Save some money. It's a bigger deal at the beginning of a playthrough, I guess. When we're more concerned about saving money, but bad idea to do it now as well. Alright, that helped a little bit. I think a big part of what determines how satisfying a place is to be around is the amount of money spent in decorating it. I think that's where the game kind of calculates the effectiveness from. Which is, I mean, I guess a fair way to go about doing it. Not like individual parts have more or less appeal. I think that's a fair way to go about doing it, actually. I think, like, if you start giving different parts more or less appeal, it's like, well, who's the arbiter of beauty, really? Price, apparently. And not necessarily what it's all going to look like in the end, but rocks are helping. 25% now, alright, good stuff. Oh, just a little bit more needed. Just a little bit more needed. Let's go ahead and get some more trees up in here, maybe. Never have too many of these trees, right? 27. Nice. Tracks are clear. We could actually, perhaps, raise this up a little bit. Go push this back a bit more. Cool. Guests should be okay over here. Guests should be okay over here. Excellent. We'll get, like, again, we'll get this all looking kind of cool. I feel like the train ride is a bit more interesting now, thanks to this little tunnel. I feel like that's a little bit... We can do something in here as well if we want to. But that's feeling pretty cool. And we'll find a way to integrate this stuff visually as well, obviously, into the space. Like, maybe get these, like, rooftop visuals and stuff going on. But that'll be... I think next session, maybe we will do a beauty pass. It'll be beautifying this. Maybe even working on some of the train stations. They've been kind of, like, set aside for too long. Getting that signage in for our hyena enclosure. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, cool. Let me just get this in a work zone at that point. Oh, research complete. Yep, a bit more hyena stuff. Some more on the lizard as well. Good stuff. Staff, work zones. Africa. Not you, sorry. Africa East, as well as Africa Center. Yes. As well as Australia. We'll use those. Sure, that should do the trick. Australia should also take care of these ATMs. Thank you very much. And Africa Center, I think, should take care of these ATMs. Looks like they have been picked. Okay, cool. All right, fantastic. Go ahead and unpause. We're doing pretty well. Not much to, like, worry about. It's pretty cool. There's not too many, like, issues lately. We're doing pretty well. Wait, when did you come around? Don't run away from me. So cute. Good genes. Decent genes. All things considered, good genes. Oh, look at those ears. They're also satellite dishes. Oh, and away you go. So much energy. I do find it hilarious when when the young animals do that, when the juvenile animals do that, with, like, run in a direction, and I'll track them with my camera and they'll stop just short. There you go. Not this time. This is so funny, he's just running back and forth. It's working pretty well too. I mean, the guests seem to be enjoying the view. Are you gonna play? Nope. Really like to catch some of their, like, play animations and stuff, see how it plays out. That tail. Yeah, Apparently, by the way, when hyenas laugh, it does sound like a laugh. I don't. That can't be the laughing. But I've been told in the comments that apparently when hyenas laugh, typically it's an indication of stress. These guys are not stressed out though. Their stats are looking good. They're like feeling happy and everything. But yeah, that's been noted in the comments, and I was like, oh, interesting. It's not. I thought it's just like the sound they make, you know, not specifically when they're stressed out or anything. So fast. Is it food time? You like your vet? That's pretty cute. Wait, are you about to escape? Yep. That's amazing. That's pretty good. Well, you're back now. There we go. I was like, I watched it happen. I watched it happen. So we got an escape spot over there. I was like, wait a second. I haven't checked if the young ones can escape yet. All right, very well. I kind of saw this coming when I left this gap over here. So that's an easy enough fix. Pop this over here. Oh. No. Of course not. Come on. Me. Selecting some of these things is sometimes just such a ordeal. Down a step. Oh. That's not gonna fly. Go ahead and split you from the group. And just nudge you down like this instead. There we go. Oh, perfect. Done. And done. Why are you sleeping on the ground? I've got you a perfectly good bed. I mean, you do what you want, obviously. They're so cute. Look at that. Like, what are you thinking about right now? Hold on. Stop it. None of this. No. Not okay. No Lannister action back over here. Stop it. No, hold on. But where's my... I was gonna say, like, they look like... They're, like, deep in thought. Thinking about something. Just having a lazy morning. Just, like, doesn't want to get out of bed. You know? I feel that, buddy. So cute. Rolled up into a little ball. Very cute. Folks, I think on that note, we're going to be calling it a session. Pretty happy with how today went, actually. I was really worried that we were going to struggle, but I'm glad to say that we are not falling behind. Oh god, that's really bad. Behind. You know what I mean. We're not falling behind. And that's good. That's good. Like I said, I was feeling pretty good about this momentum, and I'm glad we haven't lost it. But pretty happy with the space overall. I mean, we might add some more of these kind of pieces to it and stuff eventually at some point. One thing I'm still trying to figure out, I'll need to do some research about those like shields and stuff, or if there's something else we can use to decorate this space before we commit to something to break up that like kind of pattern, I guess, if you will. But for now, that's about it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, how I go about doing it. Y'all know the drill by now. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.